everybody, it's your boy Nautical. Welcome to a new video. We're going to talk about the Project Scorpio, the dev kits that are out there. Microsoft has finally given permission to people to start showing pictures of it. The information I get off this is from Gamasutra. I have a link to the article down in the description for you, so let's get into it. First, I want to really talk about a couple of items that are in this article. Really not going to go through the whole thing because it's a huge article on its own. We're just going to pick and choose a couple of the things that I think are really worth talking about, and one of those being console game developers must now think like PC game developers. Now, most people want to think that this already happens, but it really doesn't. First, let's take a AAA game from a multi-platform developer. Battlefield 1, owned by DICE, is going to probably be the best scenario I can give you when it comes to a developer that puts fidelity and the power of the system that they build it on to really great use. Battlefield 1 was built on the PC. It was made on the PC. It had PC in mind from the beginning. And then what did they do? They scaled it back for consoles. They scaled it back for Xbox One. They scaled it back for PS4. Battlefield 1 can run in native 4K, 60 frames a second if you have the power to do it on the PC. Xbox One, what is it, 720p, 920p, probably 720p. What is it on PlayStation, 1080p? I know it runs at 60, and they run at 60 on both. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, so what is Scorpio gonna do? Xbox wants people to think of Scorpio as a PC. It's gonna have the power to do it. They want them to take advantage of it. If Battlefield 1 on the PC can run at 4K textures, ultra settings, 160, 120 frames per second, what can it do on Xbox One? Let's say if it can't hit 4K, even though that's the push right now. 4K 60 is the push. Ultra settings, no compromises. If they can do that, then great. Let's say the PlayStation 4 Pro can't do that. Are they going to segregate the two systems based on resolution and frame rate? Because up to this point, you really don't see that. Now, you will see a resolution difference on it, but you won't see a frame rate difference per se. I do know in a lot of the first party titles you'll see that just because they're first party titles. Uncharted and Last of Us, they run at a rock solid 60 frames per second, just different versions. And I think that was one of the biggest differences they did with Uncharted. It went from 30 frames to 60 frames on the Pro, I believe. And that's to be expected because that's their own game. Let's just hope that developers take advantage of the power of the system. It would be a shame to buy this system and have all this capability inside of it, but then they build it to the specs of a lower system. Not saying that that didn't happen before, because it sure did. Xbox 360 was far less capable than the PS3, but the PS3 was a little bit harder to work with. Developers took about 5 or 6 years just to get the hang of it, and we got some really good games, like great, groundbreaking games at the end of the PS3's lifespan. But third party went to the lowest denominator, the system that it was easier to port games from, which was the Xbox 360, and that's the reason games ran better on 360 and struggled on PS3. We didn't have a lot of really good ports from PC on it, so hopefully they don't make that same decision again, and definitely hope we get even better games for it. Now, my final thoughts about this is one thing. It's only going to matter if Microsoft brings the games. Third party, it's not their responsibility to drive games for the platform holder. Platform holder needs to release games that are compelling, interesting, and just in a timely basis for its player base to enjoy. The one thing I will always give Sony credit for is they always come with the games. People know they're going to come with the games. Now, PS4 had a slow going out of the gate. It had releases throughout the years and really good, but this year basically all of their first party studios almost came to the table with something. I mean, right now we're up to like our 8th PlayStation only release. I mean, it's crazy, and Microsoft is sitting on what, 1 or 2, and one of them is Halo Wars 2. Now, I love Halo Wars 2, but that's not a mainstream game that gets people excited. So Microsoft, you need to bring the games to make this thing worth it. Also, like I said, game developers, you need to take advantage of the power to differentiate this system from the other systems, and that would be the only way the system will actually survive. These dev kits have a lot of power in them. They're, way more powerful than the system itself. I mean, the dev kit itself has 6.6 teraflops in it, where the base system is only going to have 6. It also has double the RAM. 12 gigs versus 24. Now that's to be expected because like they said, they want you to think like a PC, and most developers work on hardware that are way over spec for what they're working for, so they can scale it back. So it just gives you ability to make all the 4K textures you can, all the lighting you can, you know, make sure it runs at an acceptable frame rate. And then once you find out where you are, you scale that back to fit the console that you want to put it on. So nothing spectacular there. Like I just hope that it delivers. And if it doesn't, I have a PC that can run everything, and that's fine too. So guys, that's it for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more content on Scorpio, Destiny, Battlefield 1, all that good stuff. Also, make sure you share it on social media with all your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.